Well, on we go, I guess. Took me a little while, though, dude. I will admit. Well. Oh my god, I gotta do it again. Wow, you just took out your buddy. Well. Hey. Get out of here. Let me into the save room, and I'll deal with you guys. Whatever. May as well. But yeah. Compete for that role of liking games but not finishing them. Have a little competition there. Well, hi. So I need stuff again, I guess. Scanning. Developed during the psychic era, blocks passages with a wall of psychic energy can be released using collected TK codes. Really? I didn't bust it open. Is that just glass, not ice? Or something or other? Let's see here. Accessing encrypted file. Research diary day 57. Anxiety. Data downloaded to logbook. It's literally me. Green energy dosage results show no significant benefits at this time. Essentially, a rapid increase in cellular proliferation speed and a doubling of the number of cells increases growth and affects vitality. But why has this vector taken such an abnormal turn? And what can be done to shift it back to its original direction? Time is limited. I'm worried about our remaining stockpiles. So, because we don't have Phazon going on anymore, is our new Phazon the green energy? Or something like that? Is this game making arguments that we should stick with, like, coal and gas and all that stuff? We don't need green energy? No. Is the arguments this game is making? However the heck I get into those. Oh, there's a... The hell just... Okay. What the heck? Keep hitting the wrong buttons here because I'm used to it being other things in other games. Been deteriorating. Extreme cold can be shattered with strong impact. So just like... Do you mind? Okay, wanna know how bad it is for me? My favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy Tactics. I had never completed the game start to finish until a month ago when I beat the remake. Wow. Oh, give me that. Without you guys damaging me. Gotta be something I'm missing in here, right? What's the point of coming in here otherwise? This capsule with temperature control function contains a sample of a poisonous liquid. All games I really enjoy but never beat. This capsule with temperature control function contains body tissue sample. Experimental capsule containing a TK code. Oh, well, it was a good thing I came in here. After all, then. So I did need to come in here. There we go. I don't like this method of puzzle solving. TK code fragment collected. It's literally just dick around until you found all the things that you're supposed to scan. Just start scanning everything wildly and making sure you've explored every nook and cranny until you found it. Yeah, even if I can't be the king, I could probably be the king of buying games I never really play. Security gate malfunctioning, circuits are torn, and is not receiving any current. The game material is otherwise indestructible. I own New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U. Never once inserted either disc into my Wii U. I own some games I've never inserted into this console. Like Persona 5 Strikers that I've wanted to do on this channel for a long time and picked up for a decent price at one point, but I've never so much of as inserted into this console. So I'm guilty of that too. I can name P5 Strikers. As one here at least. Hey. Stop that, please. Please stop that. Ow. I don't know. I feel like going this way, I guess. Start out with. Here, look at the disc thing. Access encrypted file. Research diary day 117. Breakthrough. Data downloaded to logbook. Breakthrough. I actually have to scroll this one. We may have had a breakthrough today. Until now, we presume that the physical transformation was triggered by something in the crystals causing compositional change in the GE, which would in turn cause an abnormality in gene transcription. Yet that is not the case. In actuality, an unused region of the brain linked with the crystals is stimulated, and, as a result, genes that would normally have stayed pseudogenes were transcribed. And I now wonder, are we unlocking a blocked evolutionary branch? This would mean the great tragedy was merely one possible evolution of one potential future. So, with that in mind, what would happen if, when administering GE, we disabled those genes at the moment that the rapid cellular proliferation is triggered? There should be sufficient value in attempting this to justify altering the Balsale system's programming. Okay, Harmonia. I own Sonic 06 for the PS3. Didn't even buy that with the remote goal of playing it. I mean, I've done that with some games just to have them on my shelf, especially when I go to, like, retro game stores and stuff. But, charity incentive idea. Mythic plays Sonic 06. Use DNA sample storage case. Yeah, you donate enough money, we'll force Mythic to play Sonic 06. Is what we'll do. Better start scanning freaking everything. I should have scanned the other things back in the other place there. Ventilation shaft filled with security cap. That must be removed with physical force. A ventilation fan is active inside. The only Metroid game I have is Metroid Prime for GameCube. I played it for long enough to find out that my GameCube controller's joystick didn't work properly. I then bought another GameCube controller and proceeded to not play the game. It's so good though, man. So there's a thing there. Oh. Missile expansion acquired. Okay. There we go. I think I did something like that once as a dare. I said I was going to play Yggdra Union and then I didn't. I've never even heard of that before. Whatever that be. Scan all the things, because who knows what's going to have a stupid TK code. Discipline thawing station quickly and safely resuscitates frozen specimens without returning them to consciousness. What if you have a TK code? These are extracting DNA for experimentation. You never know with these things. This is going to drive me paranoid. A more made stretcher used for specimen transport. We reconfigured to work as an operating table. The mat is made of a hardened gel material. No, we got hiccups for some reason. Seems weird. I'd be willing to stream Sonic 06, but the PS3 has encrypted video output, so you can't use a capture card with the console. Thanks, Sony. Yeah, I was reaching out to one of my friends about, like, borrowing his physical PS3 to play Metal Gear Solid 4, just so that I didn't have to deal with, like, emulation potential crashes and freezes and stuff like that. That didn't end up working out, but I didn't know at the time that I wouldn't have been able to use it anyway, so I guess it's good that that didn't quite work out. Metroid Unit is a very bizarre SRPG for the Game Boy Advance. Okay, Lamore made operating table. Uses a gravity tuning device inside the padding to stabilize specimens without the need for restraints. You have a TK code, you look important. Balsale system, primarily used to perform experimental autopsies. Online. Activation will set it to operating mode. Ooh, online. Let's lay down. Wonder with these sounds, huh? You never know what's gonna have a TK code. You never know with these things. So better scan all the stuff. Yeah, it's a game whose game design is basically just more mechanics. Who cares if they don't mesh with existing mechanics? Mid-activation. I think there are ways to turn the encryption off by using a sort of CMD prompt in a modded console. But I just can't be asked. Yeah, that sounds like a little bit of a process there. Here, let's see. Access code approved. Autopsy systems activated. Storage mode disabled. Operating mode initialized. We're going to be doing an operation. Okay. Fun fact, the remastered version of Prime 1 doesn't feature the Metroid Fusion suit, and only the GameCube version of the game includes a playable ROM for the NES Metroid. Oh. Well. Here, now this is going to have a code or something, right? Containing a TK code. Yep. That's what I figured. It's only if you got one of the early versions of Metroid Prime that you can do things like the super, whatever it's called. The super jump thing where you start scanning something and you whiz off to the side. A super big speedrunning trick. But only early versions of the game have that. Later versions don't. Yeah, okay. Not just autopsies. I own Metroid Prime 1 on the GameCube, but as one of those later released, like, 2-pack versions. So it says on the front, like, Metroid Prime 1, and then it has, like, in the bottom right, bonus game, Metroid Prime 2, and you open the case and you have a disc for both games. So I have both Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2. I bought Metroid Prime 3 after that to have all three. And then I eventually saw Metroid Prime 2 at an event for sale for actually a pretty decent price. I think I spent like $30 on it or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but a fairly decent price. So I was like, you know what? let's get Metroid Prime 2 as like a standalone game. So I have like the individual cases for Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. I would gladly pick up the Metroid Prime trilogy, but I don't really feel like spending $300, you know? So that's not happening there. But I do own all 3 Metroid Prime games, but my copy of Prime 1 is a double pack with Prime 1 and 2. So I technically own 2 copies of Metroid Prime 2. I have a spare. Do you have a TK code by chance? Nope. Lego appears to have a sedative variant. Well, let's see here. However, to unlock, you need to link the GameCube via the Game Boy Advance cable to Metroid Fusion. It's a bonus for owning both games and all related hardware. Yep. There was that. I've had Metroid in it. Does it still have the password that bricks the console? That's a good question. And would you be able to brick the GameCube then? Yeah, if you type out the password, engage Ridley, motherfucker, there's a chance it could brick the system. That sounds like a fake story, but yeah, that's a real thing. The code engage Ridley, motherfucker. Which is really funny that that's the code that completely breaks the game and potentially your console. So, there's that. A weekend link with Game Boy games? I did it with Pokemon? Interesting. Access encrypted file. Richard Diary Day 81. Awakening. Data download to logbook. I wonder if we'll fight Ridley in this game. Awakening. The subject is in hibernation in the cryopod, and its metabolism is at minimum levels. Unfortunately, we are unable to perform the experiments we'd like with the subject in this state. If the subject's metabolic function is inactive, a reversal of its rapid cellular proliferation cannot occur. First, we must wake the subject and restore its normal metabolic function. This also means restoration of consciousness, so appropriate sedation will be crucial. So, is there some sort of subject that woke up and did a whole bunch of, like, bad things or something here at one point? Maybe it was Silux. Also, maybe there wouldn't be Ridley in this game, considering we killed Meta Ridley during the last game. But I know that Ridley appears in other games later in the timeline, like the remake of Metroid 2 that would have, I guess, canonically taken place now, just after this game. So, Ridley's around, I guess, with whatever the heck the deal is there. I haven't ever looked deep enough into Metroid lore to know how the heck Ridley's always alive, but, you know. So, there be that. If you use the password on Nintendo Switch Online, it just crashes. But if you use it on a 3DS or NES, it can brick the system. But what if you use it on a GameCube? Is the real question there. Transport car has clamps for fastening containers and specialized omni wheels for improved maneuvering. I love improved maneuvering. But yeah, got mine for $20. The cable. We're connecting the two. That's not too bad. Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad there. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering now. Recovery pod, A1, that all stuff. Used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Griever enclosed after an experimental Lamorne restoration procedure. One of these days, I have to convince my little cousin to trade with me one of my Wiis for his GameCube. Because there was a whole bunch of stuff at, like, his grandfather's place that, you know, his dad and his brothers grew up in, and, like, a whole bunch of old gaming consoles. And they went over to their place, like, a year ago, 2 years ago? And they haven't set up any of this stuff. They just have, like, a big box of, like, old consoles and stuff like that. And one of the ones that they have there is a GameCube. And I own 2 Wiis. So one of these days, like, I've proposed the idea to him before, and he's been like, I don't know, maybe. He said that there were some Wii games that he's played before I might like the chance to play again. Maybe one of these days I can convince him to trade his GameCube for one of my Wiis. That way I have a GameCube, and I'm sure that you can probably still do stuff like that with, like, a Wii emulating GameCube, but it'd be fun to have, like, actual just normal GameCube. And I don't need 2 Wiis, and by trading him a Wii, he'd still be able to play GameCube games. Doesn't lose out on any functionality. So, seems like a pretty good trade, in my opinion, for both him and me, because, you know, then I have 2 different consoles instead of 2 of the same, and he gets all the GameCube functionality, plus Wii functionality that he doesn't currently have. So, one of these days, I haven't really proposed it to him in a while, since I haven't really had a desperate need for, like, a GameCube anytime soon. But one of these days, I'm gonna see if I can convince him to trade a GameCube for a Wii. Recovery pod, all that stuff. It used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Pod now in low power mode. Looks like I'd be able to interact with that or something, but guess not. Guess it looks like I could interact with all of them. Because, yeah, come on, that's a good trade, man. But yeah, there's also a Game Boy Advance port of the original Metroid Not Zero Mission. It's the original NES version. And I assume we can brick that too. Yeah, I'd heard about that there. You can find out for the low price of a GameCube or a Wii, Metroid Prime for GameCube, a GameCube controller, a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy Advance, a GameCube link cable, Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance. Did I miss anything? Or you could probably find out just by Googling it. Like, what if someone's tried it before? I'm sure there's gotta be someone that's tried it before, right? Recovery pod, pod glass destroyed, cell culture, and preservation liquid has leaked. Life signs of the specimen griever have ceased. Third-party Game Boy Advance GameCube link cables are fairly cheap and affordable. Yeah, I'd imagine so there. But if only I owned a Game Boy Advance. That's one of the consoles on my mental list if I gotta pick up a Game Boy Advance one day. I have my Nintendo DS that'd be able to play Game Boy Advance games, but then I wouldn't be able to link things, for one. And two, my Nintendo DS doesn't work that well anymore. The A button is like permanently pressed in, and I have to press it hard to actually engage the A button. So my DS Lite that I grew up with isn't really in a state where I would consider it usable. Like, I want to play 3DS, Nintendo DS, Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy Color games, or even just Game Boy games. I do that all on my custom firmware 3DS nowadays. I have that thing jam-packed with like 100-some games. Recovery pod, used to place specimens and stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Specimen griever is alive and preserved. Or I'm gonna go do a checking it out. If I don't return in 10 minutes, wait longer. Let's end stream, like, right now. Used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to their internal organs. Specimen griever's metabolism currently at minimum. To be fair, you do have to be a certain level of nerdy to want to link your Game Boy Advance to a GameCube in 2025. True. Used to place specimens in stasis and heal damage to the internal organs. All raised from specimen griever read normal. If someone's tried it before, they could have done it, like, back when it might have been a little bit more relevant, potentially. I have a job interview in the afternoon tomorrow. To avoid missing it, I've decided to stay awake all night. Please wish me luck on both aspects. Decided to stay awake all night? To avoid missing it? I mean, it's not like there's a downside to still waking up earlier, even if it's in the afternoon, so I don't understand there. Yeah, Hyman 2. A light maintenance tank. A smaller version of the regular maintenance tank. Developed it for perform tasks in narrow passages. I need more TK codes, man. Let me guess. Close there. Doesn't lock unit attached to the rear side will allow it to open. Let me guess. I started blasting. Wrong button there. Hey. Get out of here. What is this, huh? But yeah, it's the only way for me to trade Pokemon since I only have one copy of Pokemon. My reference are only wake at 11 then go back to sleep until 12:30 because just like that and it's at 1 p.m. Just be awake longer. Recovery pod management terminal. Tracks the state of the contained specimen and sends data to a remote database. Operates normally in low power mode. Who knows what's going to have a TK code monitor and standby while low power mode is active. Well, that's this. If you have a hard time getting up, just look at how many different alarm sounds your phone is pre-installed and go one by one instead of all at 1 minute increments. After the 27th alarm, your body will get the memo. I said it's thickened over time. Oh, didn't even notice that was ice when I was in the scan visor there. But I see now. I don't know what this is, but it's mine now. Scan it, TK code or something? Containing a TK code. What the heck even are TK codes, truly? And why would it have it all tucked away there? I guess video game logic, the one that's difficult to access is the one that has the thing you need. Or something other. Yeah, that's definitely the more important thing, I would think. Now I can actually scan it for real. Yeah. It's all broken. Then how does it have a TK code? What even is a TK code? Sample storage capsule contains a blood sample. Alright, well, now I can do this for easier way out. TK stands for telekinesis. Oh, there's some sort of psychic thingamabob that's been put in there. I guess that makes sense in the context of this game. I can't go through there right now. TK is a character from the original Digimon anime. What do you mean? Guess I go back this way. Or something. Anything else I'm missing around here? Because I scanned lots of stuff. Is there a way I haven't gone yet here? Yeah, that way. So that way's got to have a TK code. That's how it's got to be working. Presumably. That's what I imagine is going on here. Okay. Loading platform. However, the cryopod rail system column secures and releases pods for distribution is linked to the loading platform. Yeah, so it's got to be something big, important looking, or like super tucked away for what's going to have the TK code. Not something particularly out in the open. This room looks important. So this way I go. After extensive searching, and by extensive I mean several poorly worded YouTube searches, I have found precisely jack shit. Which means we have to test it ourselves. I gotta trade that Wii for that GameCube, and then immediately destroy the GameCube by bricking it in that way. I would love for somebody to test that one day, but it is certainly not going to be me. Okay. Harmonia, the next video essay is writing itself. Solving the mystery of if you can brick a GameCube. Metroid bricking a GameCube video essay. Can you use Metroid to brick your GameCube? That'd low-key be a fun stream idea. It would kind of be. It would be a very expensive stream idea, because I'd potentially be destroying a GameCube. Storage bay cryopod terminal opens the hatch of a socketed cryopod currently offline. Cryopod equipped with life preservation systems to be able to keep specimens dormant semi-permanently. Switches to an internal battery if disconnected from power. How long does the internal battery last? Pod storage crane travels vertically along rails on the walls, managing cryopods containing griever specimens. So what are the grievers there exactly? Well, cryopod storage, all pods functioning normally while in low power mode. For real, if I saw like a YouTube video that was like an investigation into the mystery of if you can use Metroid to brick a GameCube, that does sound like a YouTube video that I would click on, honestly. There's the hatch of a socketed cryopod online. All this ice stuff. Okay. Okay, but what's more important? Is a singular GameCube or science? True. I'd be contributing to the knowledge of the Metroid community. Do it for science, you monster. Griever specimen contains a TK code. Why? Alright, well, here we go. Over this way, I guess. I could be the one that discovers it. Make a first ever video game discovery. TK code fragment collected. And that could be kind of novel. But, Griever specimen battery depletion led to specimen's death. A drop in room temperature caused it to freeze afterwards. Thought I heard movement. I think it's just the sound of my own footsteps on, like, the snowy floor there. Skyward Sword ass puzzle. Well, if we say TK enough, do you think Digimon will appear? If you had to choose one thing that you could see on this channel, would it be Digimon, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, or seeing if, what was the name of the code again? Where something about fuck, deploy Ridley, whatever the heck, whatever the code is. Like, I'll recognize it when I see it. Between Digimon, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, or, attempting to brick a GameCube. Engage Ridley, motherfucker. That's what it is. Where was the gate again? It was out that way, right? That's what it was. That's familiar to me. Digimon hands down. Yeah, probably Digimon Time Stranger. Whoops. I hit that with my lip. Was the case. So the code is that, it looks like. I'm probably not going to be going too much longer here because it's 10:17. I have work tomorrow. And I am honestly already starting to get a little bit tired. There is the save room that's like right there. I'm playing Metroid again and again. I want to see that so badly. Question is, how much farther does this go on here? There's a decent bit of level leading up to more quite decent bit of level going on to like bike segment to, or you could take an elevator here or something like that and then go fight boss, and then you go and leave through like more level and then bike segment out. So I think there's still a decent little smidge here. Metroid would probably make for the best YouTube content. It probably would. It would probably get the most clicks. Maybe I'll just save and wrap things up. I'm feeling a bit tired. I've work tomorrow, so I shouldn't be up anyway. It's probably a good idea to be wrapping it up here. Yeah, I don't know how I felt about this area. That one boss battle against the wolves, though, was pretty cool. I really like the aesthetics of that. Probably one of the coolest feeling boss battles I've faced in a game in a while. Honestly, making the Engage Ridley motherfucker bit a YouTube exclusive is a good idea. I mean, it would just be like a highly edited video that's like an investigation into the whether that's possible and the history of it destroying consoles in the past. Sonic Racing Crossroads would be fun, but it's like a one-time multiplayer game during a cheery stream. Digimon Time Stranger would be a real playthrough, so I pick that. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, just curious here is all. Man, I love the arm cannon changing animations. I love them in the other Metroid Prime games as well. I love them here too. They're really quite cool. I don't know how I insert a chip and then I'm able to do this when it seems like functionality the arm cannon would have been specifically designed with, but I guess that's Chozo Tech for you, or something or other. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up for now. Thought we made a decent bit of progress in Metroid Prime 4 here. I don't know how I'm feeling about these TK codes in this area, but generally, gameplay-wise, I think I am enjoying this more than Stream 1 here. If we say it enough, he will either be convinced and play our suggestions, or he will be anti-convinced and never play them. Maybe you should do some reverse psychology and be like, man, Digimon sucks, Harmonia. You shouldn't play it. It's really bad. I'm now noticing that one mod badge is over the controllers on the monitor there. I should add another image to this layout that's just like the controller tower that overlays over elements like the chat there. In fact, I think I already have that. I just need to rearrange the order that things are in, because that's how I get like the actual camera in there. Also, you like my little 3D printing project that's going on in the background there? Harmonia Side Force sucks and you should never play it. Yeah, definitely shouldn't be doing that or anything. Alright, I'm gonna head on out of here for now. Get some sleep here, get ready for work tomorrow. Appreciate everybody that tuned into another stream of Metroid Prime 4. I'm gonna head out of here. I've been trying that for years with Final Fantasy Tactics and it hasn't worked, so I think the anti-convincing is more likely. I've thought about it before, but like, I have so many games going on here, like, all the time. So it's a little tricky on that front. You know how it be. I said maybe on Mario Tennis, okay? I'm probably not gonna do it knowing modern Nintendo prices. Okay, now I'm gone.